Hello and welcome to Real Menopause Talk. My guest today is Amy Buckalter. If necessity is the mother of invention, then we have Lady Necessity herself. If you are interested in finding out what NASA and personal lubrication have in common, if you want to hear about menopause, business, sex, creativity, and find yourself a new role model, this is the episode for you. Amy, lovely to meet you. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Would you like to start by telling us a little bit about you?
Sure, I'd love to. And it's wonderful to join you here on this conversation, an important conversation. So, Patty, I grew up on the East Coast of the U.S. and followed my career to a variety of places. I can't recall how many I've lived with jobs, but ended up being pulled to the beautiful Pacific Northwest, being recruited by one of the companies I spent many years with, K2 Sports, and then, of course, Nike is also here in the Pacific Northwest. I reside, and the company resides in Seattle, and single and past the menopause phase now. So that's a good thing.
I have heard only good things about postmenopause. I'm still in perimenopause and kind of almost desperate to get to the other side without missing the journey. But although most people can agree that some of the journey is a little less fun than other parts.
That is true.
How was it for you?
Well, it came up as a big surprise, actually. I mean, many of us have had the talk when we're going to be getting our periods and we're young girls, but there was no talk involved around menopause, and it actually was clueless, kind of a deer in the headlights, came out of nowhere, although certainly the right time in my life. And the journey was obviously disturbing enough for me to create an invention around it. And unlike many women that really suffer with hot flashes, I never had that issue. It was really driven by the lubrication faucets turning off and having vaginal dryness. And of course, 3 a.m. became my new highly productive time. There was sleeplessness, and it seemed like the biological alarm clock went off at 3 a.m. and I found it a great use of the next 3 hours before starting my normal routine. So helpful.
So you actually embraced the 3 a.m. wake up?
Not initially, but then I realized there was nothing I was going to do about it. And I'm a morning person anyhow. Let's get a whole lot more accomplished between 3 and 6 a.m. rather than tossing and turning. So I really turned a negative into a positive for that.
I'm super impressed. I am still struggling to turn that one into a positive. So you started off, or not even started off, in sports management, and then you've made this transition through into intimate wellness, the driver being menopause. How did you make that transition?
Well, I first made the transition out of college when I was an economics major and went to work on Wall Street, and I quit in 3 days. And courageous or not, I really wanted to follow my passion, which was sports. And so sports and business became where that intersection happened, and was really exciting for most of my career to be working with these premium level brands, really about creating an extraordinary consumer experience, and with high performance technology kind of driving that. So moving into the creation of Pulse, I kind of like to joke and say it was sort of moving from outdoor sports to indoor sports, but it really carries much of the same learnings about the desire to really exceed consumer expectation and create an extraordinary experience that is solving a problem. And in the menopause realm, and certainly in research that was done around this, we're solving numerous problems and integrating it into one solution.
Do you know what? I nearly wrote on your questions going from outdoor sports to indoor sports. And then I thought, I haven't met you, so maybe that's a little too forward when you said it. So fantastic.
Well, it's as I believe you said on the lead up, everything's game in this conversation, right? So no holds barred.
Absolutely is. Yes, 100%. So for those who don't know, who are listening, can you explain Pulse?
Of course. Pulse is a solution that was born out of my experience with menopause. And for me, having a vaginal dryness experience, it was finding a solution and elevating personal lubricant use. For me, I was completely shocked about no innovation around the personal lubricant space, still just a cold, messy, unhygienic tube or bottle. So Pulse and Pulse Pods, the best way I think for the audience to understand the platform, it's very similar to Nespresso and Nespresso capsules or Keurig and K-cups. But instead of really elevating the coffee experience, we're elevating the personal lubricant experience. And so our pods, and I know your listeners won't be seeing this visually, but you can, it was all about how do we solve many pain points that users of personal lubricant have to endure, and how to bring it into modern 21st century where it's elegant and attractive, and you want to welcome it into your intimate moment rather than having to feel like it's part of oh no, here we go again, clinical, cold, kind of a gross, icky experience. So Pulse is a beautiful Apple-esque looking device that will look gorgeous on any night table and has features that offer mood and night lighting. But the magic really happens when the lubricants in pods are inserted into the device, and it will warm the pod, warm your formulations, extremely soothing, game-changing actually, completely contamination-free, and then touchlessly activated and dispensed. So it is comfortable, warm, clean, and elegant, the way using personal lubricant should be.
It is remarkable. And one of the things about the whole menopause CEO revolution at the moment is that it's gone from a taboo subject, something that certainly all of us appear to have arrived at clueless, no idea what's happening to us. Nobody talks about it, to something that is evolving and emerging as something wonderfully sophisticated. And your device is truly beautiful. The lighting, you came up with lighting as well as the heating. I mean, that's extraordinary.
One of certainly the lessons of spending many years in consumer products is literally the consumer decides. They decide on what they like, what they don't like, and what they need. So in beginning this journey to create this elevated experience with a device and consumable platform, I hired a PhD to talk to 300 to 400 women. And, this was all new to me. I had an issue around vaginal dryness. I didn't know enough about the category. And we learned so much about all the dislikes from users. Not only was it about cold, buzzkill cold, whether we experience that in our physician's office for annuals, but certainly we don't want that in a steamy, intimate moment, or the sticky, dirty residues on tubes and bottles, or having to fumble around in the drawer to try to access it. Certainly, unhealthy ingredients was a big part of also their complaints. And just at that time, when Nespresso and K-Cups was having one of them, a huge issue with lack of recyclability and taking care of the planet, we wanted to be very mindful about that. And so we took all of these pain points around cold, unhygienic, unromantic, unhealthy, and how do we build that into a solution that integrates. And part of it, moving from something very clinical to something more like it beautifully integrates into your home decor, is not only the form factor, but lighting, especially where you can choose one of 6 colors and there's a brightener and dimmer on it to really create your ambiance and your mood. And also it acts as a nightlight. And my favorite part, what I hear from some of our customers, is they create their own love language around the colors. So, many couples aren't as fluent with how they communicate that they're in the mood or what they're in the mood for. So they can create their own love language around the color story. For some, when it's on sunrise, which is a red light, maybe it means, honey, I'm ready and we're on all night for this romantic encounter. Or for others, it might be, honey, got a headache tonight. Or maybe it's on sunset, which is a beautiful pinkish light, and it means, honey, I'd love to just have a massage this evening. So they can create their own language around it. So yes, lighting was very important from a communication standpoint, as well as just creating the ambiance.
That's really beautiful and such a lovely idea. Again, it elevates the whole process to something far beyond the functional. And the image of it, like you said, it's very iPhone-esque. It's something that you would actually enjoy having in your environment, which elevates the image as well. And we're all fed up with this anti-aging, rather faded, sad-looking person in the corner who looks, quite frankly, wretchedly miserable. But this is really beautiful. You've got actual real rocket scientists on your team as well. And I love all your names, by the way. The thinker, the tinkerer.
Yes, they all are initial advisors. We gave them all actually names that were true to form of really their DNA of what they brought to the party. Initially, when I started this, and certainly couldn't afford to hire talent, but knowing how important a team of really experienced, smart collaborators would be, and those that certainly had paved the way before with various consumer products, this created a matrix of what were all the skill sets that would be necessary, that whether I needed them for collaboration or I couldn't provide because I didn't have that background. So it was certainly on the product side, I wanted those that had obviously engineering and product development experience, having them be actual rocket scientists and having a NASA background. I mean, that was icing on the cake because they are really analytical thinkers, and also having very deep backgrounds around patent and IP formation. So that was important too as we built out this platform. Also within their body of experience was medical devices for Dr. Lilac Muller, as well as had done it before with acquisition, being driven through a playbook to get to acquisition. Ken Pilcher, who was the lead inventor and co-founder at Clairsonic, that was bought and acquired by L'Oreal. And he also spent years as head of innovation at Sonicare that was acquired by Philips. So always good to have tribal knowledge for helping you write the playbook from the very beginning.
Have your close team members, the women, been through menopause as well? And do you discuss it at work?
Oh my goodness, we do not have an HR department for that very reason. Everything is discussable in the office, outside the office, over cocktails. And of course, everything has a little play on words, certainly as we're thinking on the marketing front. And yes, in fact, we have had a real spectrum of those ages of women that have been very postmenopausal to perimenopausal to those not have entered their journey yet, but certainly are getting a head start on what they need to know, understand, and take care of their bodies from a self-care standpoint. So it's great.
Well, that's terrific. Yeah. The more we educate the generation behind us, the more prepared they will be and not scared at all. And they can take it on and hopefully waltz through the whole process.
Yes. And I loved how you talked about this whole space had been so taboo, because there has just been such an explosion around this recently. When we started this journey, it was still very taboo. And in fact, we still today, and I will hold hands with all my other women founders that I know in this space, we still bump our heads up against the ceiling of social media and not being able to really speak about our solutions very openly. We have to sort of create a language around it that can try to get through the algorithms of these social platforms, which is really too bad, because, men's solutions, men's sexual wellness solutions have not had any problems over the years.
Yeah. My sort of corridor of the algorithms, I wake up some days and just think, oh, well, everybody knows everything now. This is great. We're all done. Good. Female CEOs everywhere, championing actual solutions for menopause. And we're all educated. And then I take a step outside and realize that no, there are still windows and doors and ceilings. They're not even glass. Some of them, they're rock solid. Yeah. You have been embraced by Gwyneth Paltrow and Naomi Watts, for example. Any other stories or connections that have been championing you, or you've been able to champion each other?
I have to say, Gwyneth has been an amazing mouthpiece and microphone for this category. And she has been able to not be dissuaded about any of the taboos, and has just really forged right ahead and given a platform for those of us with really amazing solutions to elevate experience a home. And so my hat's off to Gwyneth for being a real trailblazer for all of us. But we've also started to see, even in retail, we were one of the original brands at Nordstrom as they started their Care Down There category under the umbrella of beauty and self-care, which is where this should live. Mm-hmm. And also addition to Bloomingdale's and Saks and many of the other premium retail partners that are really embracing elegant solutions and healthy solutions for women, because the market has been demanding it. And these female executives are now willing to partner to provide them. It's been a courageous move, and we all salute them for that.
Well, everybody wins. It's not just those of us who are going through menopause. It's everyone who encounters us as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you have anything else in the pipeline that you're able to talk to us about?
Oh, boy. Yes, we do. Well, first of all, we have 4 amazing formulations right now that have really been focused around intimacy and sexual wellness. And I just want to say they've been driven to creation with the development of a naturopathic physician as well. So they are rich and extremely healthy and no harmful preservatives or chemicals, some using amazing ingredients where we're the only brand on the planet, like pure chia extract, to be able to offer that as a solution for women, because they do create this irresistible superiority. With that, we do have some other formulations in the pipeline, because one of the amazing gifts of how we have built our patent strategy, when you think about how welcoming it is to have your formulations be warm, contamination-free, easily accessible. You can change your pods of whatever types without having to clean or worry about contamination. There are a host of other categories in care where consumers will also benefit. So next line of sight is baby care, men's grooming, skin care. I could just go through a list, any kind of a formulation that's a goop, oil, cream, lotion, gel. Who wouldn't benefit with those integrated advantages of soothing warmth, cleanliness, and the pods, by the way? They are recyclable. We have a program with Pact Collective. So we actually pay for our consumers to send them back and be recycled. Being good to the planet and being good to our consumers is all an integrated ecosystem for us. So yes, we have other formulations in the works. And yes, we also have a portable device in the works. I almost want to say shh, but I know all your audience is going to hear that. So we want to provide a beautiful, elegant tabletop version and shh, a beautiful, elegant, portable version as well. Not quite ready to be on the market. It's still in design, but we will continue to expand the platform to meet the needs of our consumers, women and men across the ages. Because as much as we've created a solution for women of a certain age and for menopause, we have found so much appreciation and receptiveness around this platform. We actually do about 70% of our business 50 to 20, which is pretty amazing.
That is phenomenal. Those ideas, hand soap, something as simple as that would be so much cleaner. You haven't got it dripping down the side in the bathroom. And yeah, it's all very, very elegant and sophisticated, which is just gorgeous to see. So perimenopause continues to teach me many life lessons. What have you learned throughout your whole experience?
Oh, my whole menopause experience. I think the biggest lesson to me was not to settle that this is your new normal, which is basically what my gynecologist said, when I went in, well, Amy, get ready. This is your new normal. But she was kind of joking, like she'd known me for 20 years as her, she was my doctor, and said, well, this is menopause. Get ready for your new normal. And so when you think about making that new normal and taking it from what feels awkward, inconvenient, and painful, and saying, okay, we're not going to settle for this. And for every woman that's going to go through menopause, and we all will, whether forced or not, it should be a welcoming, elegant, soothing experience. And, when I see how many of our audience now is younger, because you don't just have to reach menopause to have an elevated, intimate experience, that speaks volumes. So, the lesson was, I think necessity, as they say, is the mother of invention. That actually goes all the way back to Plato, the Greek philosopher, talking about creating for your own needs and inventing out of your own needs. And so I think the big takeaway here was sometimes you have to do it by yourself, meaning to create the solution. And as I always like to say, with all the challenges of menopause, the greatest gift for me was the creation of a solution for not only myself, but so many people around what someday will be the globe. And right now it's in the United States. So never settle, always strive to have the best quality of life, and don't let anything hold you back. And if it's not available, make it so.
Where can people find Pulse then, Amy?
Well, thank you for that question. You can always find it, of course, on our site, and you'll find lots of information about the product as well. And that is lovemypulse.com. You can also purchase our products on Amazon. You can purchase them on Goop, at Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Saks, but you'll always find the most information coming directly to the source, which is lovemypulse.com.
Thank you. And any final pearl of wisdom?
We've discussed so many pearls. I think that
we have.
We'd need a lot more oysters for more pearls. And I guess that is the real ending here when you ask for pearls. Your world is your oyster, right? Which we have found many pearls along the way with solutions for menopause. And I think this is a fabulous integrated solution. I hope your audience comes to check it out and find it, because as we hear from our reviewers, this has been such a game changer for so many that have had awkward moments, painful, uncomfortable sex, want something different to make them feel normalized and elegant during a change of life. That, as we also hear, how could I ever go back to what I was using? So I invite everybody to try our products.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and hearing all about it. And I'm very excited for what comes next.
Well, Hattie, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this conversation, enjoyed our time together.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Likewise. Thank you very much. Take care, Amy.
Bye-bye.
You can find Amy and Pulse at lovemypulse.com. And having since tried Pulse, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It is a thing of great beauty and great joy. Follow us on the podcast app of your choice or subscribe wherever you choose to get your podcasts. Please do leave us a review as it does help other people find us. Send in your feedback. Let us know how we're doing for season 5 so far. It's always great to hear how you are. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.